Okay, here we go. Students, I'm Thomas Brickner. I'm the instructor for this class, Physical Science 1121. Here's our...
Oh, there we go, it's back.
Oh,
Don't touch the tape.
I can't touch anything up here. This connector's very shaky.
Oh, that went again.
I...
Yep. Nope, it's back.
Okay. This time stay. Stay. As you can see, we're having some technical difficulties.
Oh, there we go again.
Well, we'll just continue recording. Hopefully it'll stay on here eventually. Now where was I? Oh, Physical Science 1121. Yeah, that's this class. Word of warning to the people in the back 2 or 3 rows. When we get going with the semester, your eye clickers. Do you have your eye clicker?
No.
Give me one of those. Can you hand me one of those? Thanks. Your eye clicker, which we're going to use for clicking, it might not work from the back 2 or 3 rows, so you're going to want to move up. Here you go. So what we're going to do today is outlined up there, do some introductions, and then start talking about the syllabus and stuff. We actually have some demonstrations as well, so let's get to it. Here's how you spell my name, Brueckner. It's a German name. It's infinitely misspellable and infinitely mispronounceable. And just the way it is. So if you feel like you're going to mess up and mispronounce my name, just refer to me as Dr. B. That's fine. I don't mind it. In fact, I enjoy it. And so that'll save you the trouble of messing up. My research areas are theoretical astrophysics, Einstein's theory of relativity, and so stuff like black holes, quantum field theory, early universe, in other words, the Big Bang theory. Yes, we really do study that. It is a thing, and I'm pretty knowledgeable about it. I also study the mathematical theory of information, which is actually related to black holes. And this little diagram here is something called a light cone, which you can read about on the internets if you feel like it. I'm always happy to talk about physics concepts at any time, Robert, and for any topic. Light cones, relativity, anything like that. Darian, stand up, please. This is Darian Fry. She's our TA for the semester. She's an undergrad. And this is a photo of her when she was a special study group leader, when she was taking this class. When she was taking this class, she was a special study group leader. And I'll explain what that is on Thursday. And she's a biology major and a music minor. Here's a picture of There's a picture of Darian being a TA a few semesters ago, helping students. So she's very knowledgeable about physical science, 1121. She knows the ropes pretty good. And so she's a great resource. Are you feeling like having office hours this semester? So she's probably going to have an office hours. Our office hour will be 10:30 to 11:30 over in the Physical Sciences building on Wednesdays. It's all a syllabus. You don't have to worry about writing it down right now. Anyway, so that's just who we are, and you'll get to know us. I'll get to know you guys. I'll try to learn as many names as I can. And I think there's a few students in here from my other classes, astronomy and so forth, which is great. I'm happy to see you guys. And let's just keep going. You know, this is a very scientific class. And you may be saying to yourself, Dr. B, Why am I here? And of course, there is an answer for that. The answer, of course, is you're here because of the general ed program. GEP, sorry, I had you going there. The GEP general ed program, Science Foundation E1, is fulfilled if you pass this course. And you know what they say about UCF, under construction for, what is that business over by the library? Does anybody know? The reflecting pond, what are they doing over there? No, they're extending over the reflecting pond? That can't be right. See, even the display disagrees. I guess this thing's going to go in and out. Anyway, so yeah, under construction, and you can't finish. But if you take this class and pass it, you'll at least get your GEP Science Foundation E1 squared away. You got a bunch of other ones, of course. And let me just try this cable here, take a little bit of tension out of it here. All right. It's this lousy connector that we're going to have to get that fixed somehow. Anyway, so there's our course description. It says high school algebra or MAC 1105. So what we're doing in here is maybe a little bit of Pythagorean theorem, no logarithms, no trig, other than Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and no calculus. So if you're a little nervous, but raise your hand if you have had calculus, because I know a bunch of you will have had. Okay, so you guys, I'll try to talk to you from time to time at a calculus level, but we have a broad range of math experience in here, so I'll try to accommodate. This is getting irritating. It's getting really irritating. So anyways, we'll try to keep going here. Okay, fundamental laws of mechanics, heat, waves, electricity, magnetism, chemical processes and equations, properties of gases, liquids, solids, solutions. 3 credit hours, which I'm sure you know. You know, this is really ticking me off. Can you call this number, Darian? Do you have your phone? It's 823-5117. And tell them that it's Dr. Brickner in classroom building 2, room 207. We're having trouble with the VGA. And we'd love to have an HDMI cable, but we can't find it. Can you do that? Thanks. All right, so anyways, that's why you're here. If you are in here, if you're a freshman and you came to the wrong lecture hall, go ahead and leave, I don't mind. But if you're here for physical science 1121, that's good. Can you bring the lights up all the way? We're going to do some demonstrations now. I'm going to pause the recording, which I'll put on YouTube. Oh, this is no good. Hold on. Clickers a few minutes ago. I want to, before we get to the syllabus, I want to check you guys out on iClickers. Now, raise your hand if you've got one with you today. One of these babies. Okay, you're going to click it in just a second. All right. And let me do this while Darian's getting that other stuff. All right. Here we go. And you're going to be on frequency DD. So hold your power button down until the letters flash, and then type in DD, and you'll get a message that says Go Nitro. Raise your hand if you got Go Nitro. Okay, good. So that means you're in. All right, now here's your question. Now we're going to do practice questions, and hopefully this practice question will not be too difficult scientifically speaking. The official deadline for getting your iClicker and getting registered and everything is next Thursday. But, so we're going to do a few clicker questions. Hold on. What was that?
Will these points that we're doing now count or now?
These are practice. So just try to click if you got a click. If you don't have a clicker, it's not going to hurt you.
Okay.
All right, now here's your question. I want you to think. Chuck Norris concepts. And go ahead and vote. Good. 3 people voted for. Yep. Ooh, boy, you guys are voting. Good. And we're just messing around. We'll eventually have regular science questions and stuff, but you know, first day. Interesting. Okay, 10 seconds to vote. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Can you go to the desktop, please? All right. Now here's the distribution of answers. And look at this down here. Some joker voted for E. And a bunch, so there's a spread of information here. Now, when we're doing scientific questions, you know, like figuring out a distance or an acceleration or something like that, we'll look at it. It'll be a serious, and this is sometimes going to be interesting for us. Can you switch back to the laptop? But this guy that voted for E, you know who that was? I know who it was. It was me. Because secretly, I know that the real answer is E, all of the above. And many, many more. Anyway, so Thursday, get your iClicker at the bookstore, and we'll do some more practice questions, and eventually they'll all be scientific and stuff. Robert and Rose, can you help me hand out these syllabuses, please? Let's work on the syllabus for the last 15 minutes. Just hand them out in bunches again. Yeah, so, and that'll be fastest. So when you get a bunch, take one for yourself and pass it to the side and backwards, towards the back of the room. Yeah, just hand them out in clumps. All right. Looking good. Did you give all yours out? Okay, good. Did you take one for yourself? Rose?
Somebody gave me one.
All right, good. Who doesn't have a syllabus? Robert, there's some in the back there. All right. Be patient, my wonderful students. All right, and let's modify the lighting. We don't really need lights for the display now, but let's go over the, and you know what I need? Robert, is there, where's the extra? Who's got extras? Could you, okay, in the back, can you bring one of those up here for me and one for Darian? And if you have extras, send them to the aisle. Either aisle is good. And we'll just kind of go over this stuff. Easy. Easy peasy. So all my contact information is on the front. The ebook, there's a link down there for the ebook. It's a book that I wrote, most of it anyways, for this class. And for those of you that have to buy at the bookstore because of financial aid, I sincerely apologize. And even for those of you guys, try to buy it at the publisher's website. You'll save about 40 or 50 bucks. You guys haven't bought it yet, but well, did anybody buy it at from the bookstore? How much are they charging over there? What? $125? The publisher's $85. Says 40 bucks. And you know what, you guys? I wrote this thing and I told the publisher, let's just keep it an ebook, and that way it'll be a fairly low price. So I was thinking like 20 or 15 or 20 bucks. But they came out with 85 bucks. And you know what? I haven't seen a single royalty. I've been using it for this is 3 years now, Darian. And they haven't paid me any royalties yet. So I don't know. We're doing a service for the textbook publisher. This is the last semester of it, though, so we're going to do something else next. Anyways, apologize. Get that. It's a nice book. The software is fairly nice. Bookshelf software. You can get squared away with that. And just so you know, I usually try to make or insert page references and chapter references at various places in the lecture. So when you're looking at the slides, it'll say page 32, or it'll say chapter 3, figure 7, or something like that, okay? So you'll be able to do that and, and then read that section in the textbook, all right? Next topic, accommodations. UCF is committed to providing reasonable accommodations for all persons with disabilities, and I share that same commitment. Students with disabilities who need accommodations must be registered with Student Accessibility Services, SAS, in the Farrell Commons, Building 7F, Room 185, and they're the phone numbers. And you have to do that before requesting accommodations from me. Students registered with SAS that need accommodations must initiate contact through SAS and Knights Access. And there's the website for SAS. No accommodations will be provided until the student has used SAS and Knights Access to request accommodations. So I've already gotten several of those, maybe yours if that applies to you. But if you haven't, get the paperwork rolling. And they'll send a letter to me through email and stuff, and it'll work good. And every semester we have students that have the SAS accommodations, so it works good. But you got to get the paperwork rolling. That's the only thing. All right. Now, if you want to ask me questions about that after class, you're more than welcome to. Okay, let's skip down to grades. Okay, the total number of points that you can, this is the bottom of the second column, and we'll try to do everything else that we don't cover today, we'll try to cover on Thursday. Anyways, the stack of things that you do to earn points are there in that table, the first table on the second column. Midterm 1, midterm 2, midterm 3. Now usually what we do is we take the best 2 out of 3 midterms and we drop the lowest score, all right? And it works out pretty good. But only if you're here for all 3 midterms. If you're only here for 2, then those are the 2 we keep. But if you're here for 3, and most of you will be, you get the luxury of being able to drop the stinkiest grade, all right? Homework, 25 points. Class participation, iClickers, 25 points, 10% of the grade each. Final exam, double the size of a midterm, so 100 points. And that's pretty nice because on the final exam, you have 3 hours to do it, so that's 3 times the amount of time you have for a midterm in class. So it's double the size, but 3 times as much time for the final. All right, total of 250 points. So the way that breaks down is an A, you get 225 points or more, you have an A for the semester. You know, homework, participation, iClickers, exams, if that all adds up to 225 or more, ding, you get an A. 188, and you get a B. 150 points, that's 60% of 250, you get a C. To have a passing grade D, you have to have half the points, 125. But if you're below that, you get an F. Now, most of you guys are not going to be in danger of getting an F if you do two things. If you come to class faithfully every day and you click, and if you do your homework faithfully every time I assign it. And that's going to be usually a couple times per week. So if you do all that, you're not going to flunk. You might not get an A, but you're not going to flunk. The way to get an F is just don't come to class. So if that is your objective, go ahead and start. Just don't come to class, don't do homework. You get that F before you know it. But if you want to get a good grade, come to class. All right, so that's the grade scale. Now, up there, the middle paragraph on the second side, the semester grade scale consists of straight letter grades only, so we don't do plus or minuses, and it goes by the points. So I don't round off or anything like that. If you have the points, you get the grade. If you don't have the points, you don't get the grade. All right? And also, I do not grade on the curve, because I consider that to be a travesty. It's my job to get you guys to break the curve. If you all earn an A, you're all gonna get an A. But if I graded it on the curve, I'd only be able to give out a certain number of A's, a certain number of B's, and a lot of C's, even if you earned it by points. So I never grade on the curve. I don't have to. All right, exam schedule. Let's look at this. Bottom of the second column on the second page. Midterm exam 1, a Tuesday. Burn that into your brain. Psych it into your mind. Mesmerize it into your synapses. Midterm exam 2 is a Thursday. Thursday before, what do you call that? Spring break. All right, so get that done. We're done with it. You don't have to worry about anything until you get back from spring break. Midterm exam 3, Tuesday, the 11th of April. And then final exam is Thursday, April 26th. And hey, you guys, it's at 10 a.m. So we meet at noon. But final exam at 10 a.m. Do not mess it up. All right. In fact, go to the examination procedure, and then we'll talk about that for a bit, and then we'll dismiss. Bottom of the second column, or bottom of the first column, second page. Okay, you must bring a number 2 pencil, a good eraser, UCF Scantron, a raspberry color, and your iClicker 2. We'll do a little bit of iClicker on exams. So I might have 42 Scantron questions, 42 dots, and then 2 or 3 2-pointers or 3-pointers on using Scantron. And I'll show you how to do that. It works pretty nicely. Question?
For exam number 3, what letter is Wednesday?
Are you sure?
Yes.
This year?
Yes.
All right. Pencil in 412 then. It's supposed to be that Thursday. It's supposed to be. We're not dismissed yet, and we got stuff to talk about. And we dismissed at 1:20. And it's supposed to be Thursday before the spring break. Item 2, you may use a basic scientific calculator, but anything with a square root key ought to be sufficient. So if you have a big fancy graphic calculator, you can use it if you want. But a little square root job from elementary school ought to do fine. If you don't have one, you're toast. You just have to do it longhand. It won't be that hard. Number 3. Now, I want to emphasize this one at the very bottom, page 2, first column, item 3. You must be on time. Late arrival after the first student finishes means you cannot take the exam. All right? And I'm an SOB, a son of a Brickner. When it comes to that, I'm not going to budge. And guess what? We had a couple guys, freshmen, and the dog ate my alarm clock or something, on the final. And what am I supposed to do? They came in like 90 minutes late. So there were students that already finished and out. And we can't give them the test. We can't give you the test at that point. If nobody's turned in a test yet, then maybe, if I feel like it, I'll let you take the test. But if somebody's turned it in, that's it. That's the line. And those guys, they got blazed. They're hurting. They got a 0 on the final. Big 40% of the grade. So I don't care what you do on the rest of the semester. If you get a 0 for the final, your grade is in the tank. It's a big disaster. So do not mess up. Question. The final exam, is it cumulative? The answer to that is YES. Yes. We're going to be talking about Newton's laws of motion to the cow. We're going to start on Thursday, and we're going to continue until the cows come home. And I don't have any cows, so that's a long time. The whole semester. All right, next time we're going to talk about other procedures, and we're going to talk about Galileo Practice. Hold on now. You better check this. One last thing. I want you to do homework 0. It'll be activated by supper time tonight, maybe sooner. And it'll be due Friday. It's your attendance quiz. And that's your only homework for the week. Otherwise, go ahead and read up in the book about Professor Galileo. And I'll see you on Thursday. Derry, you can take that stuff out. I'll get all this.
Where do we get the homework at? Because I don't have
It's in web courses.
I don't have a web courses for your class.
You will.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of sitting there. It's not published yet, but it will.
So, Professor Dr. B, it's
Dr. B,
like
yeah.
the attendance only and another thing?
Yeah, it's like a Chuck Norris question, just like
okay.
the practice was. So for attendance, all they're looking for is clicks inside web courses. So if you click on something, but right now web courses is not activated for you guys, but it will be in an hour. So I got it.
Have a good one.
Yep. you're
Hi,
welcome. Hey.
Maybe. I had a quick question. So I was trying to email you, but I realized that web courses wasn't uploaded yet for me. And I have a mission in April, so I won't be here for the final. And I wanted to know, will I still be able to take this course?
We'll have to talk about it.
Okay.
It's possible.
Do you need
Do you have a-
documentation?
Yeah. Man. Oh, so this is it? So you're in the reserve. So you got something going?
Yes, I'm moving from April
2 to
2nd
3.
to the 3rd.
We'll get you squared away. Don't worry about
So I won't have to drop this class because I really wanted to keep.
it. You stick with it. You know what they say in the movies? Stick with me, kid. You'll be all right.
Thank you.
We got you.
So,
That's right. Stick with me, kid. You'll be all right. We'll get it through it.
I'm a,
Right here. I know you don't want me walking out with that.
I'm a cancer survivor, and my dad currently has cancer. So, in the event that, like, let's say I have an appointment with an oncologist, or if my dad
Document it.
document and give it to me.
Yeah, doctor's note or something.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we'll get you. Just like I've said that to the other student. Stick with me, kid. You'll be all right. We get you. We'll get you. No worries.
So we don't need like a textbook for the class.
Ebook.
Just a clicker. Ebook.
No, you need the ebook. It's this book on the syllabus.
Oh.
It's my book.
Oh.
Written specifically for this course.
And I can get it from the bookstore.
No, buy it. Did you get a copy of the syllabus?
Yeah.
It's on the syllabus, the publisher's website. Do you have to buy at the bookstore for financial aid stuff?
I mean, I don't think so.
Okay, so then buy it at the publisher's website.
Okay.
You save $40.
Okay. Oh yeah. I'll probably.
The bookstore, they really are highway robbery over there. It's pathetic.
Yeah.
But yeah, get that.
Okay.
And try to get that squared away by Thursday or Tuesday next week.
Oh, okay. And then like the clicker too.
Yeah, get a clicker. And if you, I should have mentioned it, but if you have a roommate that has one of these, iClicker 2, and they're not using it Tuesday and Thursday afternoons, you can use it.
Oh, okay. And
You'll be able to register it to your name and stuff. I'll explain it on Thursday.
oh, okay. And could I get it from the bookstore like right now?
You can get them from the bookstore, brand new, and or like I said, a roommate or something. So.
Oh, okay.
Good. And what's your name again?
Brittany. Brittany.
Brittany?
Yes.
Okay, Brittany.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Are you?
Ooh, I'm